Good morning, children. I'm saying good morning because it is 6:15 on Saturday. I've just watched the latest Smallville episode 17, titled Kent, and wow, very, very bittersweet. It was quite emotional for some parts, especially between the scene between Clark and Jonathan Kent was just emotional to the core, to the point of where you really feel sorry for Jonathan. You feel sorry for him because he has nothing in that world. He's lost everything. He's lost Martha, he's lost his home, he's lost his farm, he's lost his reputation, everything. Totally different to the Jonathan that we're familiar with in Clark Kent's world. And here's Clark Kent pretty much giving Jonathan of this world everything that Jonathan Kent of his world gave him. He's telling Jonathan that, back in his world he was raised as this and this. He was raised to find his destiny. He was taught to trust people, and what really made it so special was the way that he found his granddad's gun. And there's Jonathan thinking, how do you know that's there? How do you even know about that kind of thing? And it's all starting to work in his head, thinking, this isn't Clark Luthor. This is not the Clark. This Clark is not my enemy. He is a good person. He's obviously a good version of the one that I'm used to, and eventually he comes to terms with the fact that this Clark is not out to hurt him. He knows of the kryptonite. There's a mention of gold kryptonite as well. Then you've got obviously Lois Lane in that world is married to Oliver Queen, and in that world Oliver Queen is dead because he's killed by Clark Luthor, who told everybody how to stop Ultraman by using green kryptonite, and because of that he gets killed by Ultraman. So he tells everybody else how to protect themselves, but doesn't protect himself, does he? Yeah, never mind. But Clark Luthor comes to Clark Kent's world regarding using his mirror box, because this was what I thought was interesting, was how does Clark Luthor come back? And it's because he still has his mirror box, whereas Clark Kent's mirror box was destroyed. He destroyed his own mirror box when he came back, back in Luthor. So here's Clark Luthor with his mirror box. He then sends Clark Kent to his world, back to his own world kind of thing, and destroys his own mirror box, therefore saying to Clark Kent, it's going to be a one-way trip. You're not coming back, I'm not going back. So it was very interesting to see that. Then you've got Lois Lane and Emil Hamilton trying to repair this mirror box, and I thought it was very interesting, thinking, where the hell did they find the equipment to do that? Let's not forget, guys and girls, that this mirror box is of Kryptonian origin. I'm sure they've got some form of Kryptonian repair kit, wherever that came from, I don't know, but I'm just going to let it slide. Eventually they repair the mirror box, and Clark Kent comes back to his own world. He's this close from giving Jonathan Kent a cuddle, by the way, which I thought was heartfelt and really heart-wrenching. But it doesn't happen because he's back in his world. He goes after Clark Luthor, who's on the verge of killing Tess Mercer, because she tricks him, because he's asking Tess to help him out to find Lionel of his world, who's now in Clark Kent's world, so that he can kill him and that him and Tess can live their life together, kind of thing. But what is interesting is that Tess tricks him, and then because she tricks him, he's gonna end up killing her instead. But first, can I just stop there? I just want to say something. How awesome! I'm sorry, but just seriously, I was watching Tess. I just could not stop looking at her boobs. I mean, seriously, they were epic. In that dress that Clark Luthor picked out, oh my god, the guy has good taste. That's what I'm going to say. I just couldn't take my eyes off her cleavage. I'm sorry, Cassidy, but it's true. I could not take my eyes off your... They were bouncing. What do you want me to do? I'm a bloke, okay? I am a man, I'm a guy. Those sort of things attract me, What can I say? And she's a redhead as well, so, 2 for 2, you can't go wrong. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So as I say, Clark Kent intervenes, saves Tess's life, and then him and Clark Luthor have a bit of a battle. I was expecting something epic, to be fair. Something along the lines of what we've seen with Clark and Bizarro in the past, but we didn't get that. What we got instead was Clark Kent racing to the fortress with Clark Luthor behind him, flying to the fortress, by the way. Clark Luthor flies to the fortress, and then there's Clark Kent basically telling Clark Luthor that, look, you know, this is the fortress. Our father is actually alive in the fortress, you know. And there's Clark Luthor saying, well, in my world, he's not, you know. Me and Lionel Luthor made sure that we don't hear from him ever again, kind of thing. But there's Clark Kent basically saying, look, Lionel Luthor is no longer in your world. You can go back to your world, you can redeem yourself, you can start to make the people of your world trust you. You know, you can try and repair the damage slowly but surely. And it's like, there's me thinking, but can that actually happen? You know, can Clark Luthor go back to his world and start to repair the damage that has been done, not by himself but by Lionel Luthor? You know, start to regain the people's trust, you know, for them not to carry kryptonite with them at all times, and this, that and the other. It's, yeah, I'm not too sure about that, so I'm just going to leave that one as it is there. As I mentioned earlier at this review, that gold kryptonite was mentioned, and Jonathan Kent is actually the one that mentions it to Clark Kent, saying that on the day that he came down with a meteor shower, Jonathan Kent actually found gold kryptonite. And when we come back to the original world, you hear Tess and Emil talk about said gold kryptonite, and you know, Tess is like, well, what can this do to Clark? And that's when, you know, Emil pretty much says, from every sort of like collected information that they've had, that it can pretty much take away his powers permanently, you know, for good. And Tess is like, okay, I'll get my people on it. But what's to stop Tess? Seriously, what is to stop Tess from using it against Clark later on? What's to stop her from using it? Because she's a Luthor now, okay? And Lionel pretty much said it at the end of Scion, that at the end of the day, on the surface, you might think you're this and this, but deep down you are still a Luthor. And she is. And what's to stop her from going up against Clark and doing something like that? Who knows, people? Who knows? Only another 4 episodes left. I say 4 episodes because we're treating the finale as 1 episode, but it should really be 5. But yeah. So next week is Booster. Can't wait for that. I'm hearing a lot of people are saying that that's going to look epic. I've read some of the tidbits. I've seen the pictures as well. I like the look of Booster Gold, not liking the look of Blue Beetle that much. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I know someone has actually seen an advanced preview of that, and they were pretty much excited for the heavens when they watched it. So I'm sure we'll get an advanced review from them later on in the week. But otherwise, as I say, this episode was very bittersweet. It was very, very bittersweet, and yeah, it was good. It was a good comeback. Let's see what happens from here on in, people. It can only get better, I hope. Fingers crossed. Right, that's it from me. I am now going to go to bed. Yes, I'm going to bed at almost 6:30 in the morning. I don't care. I've been gaming, been doing some raids on DC Universe Online, and I am tired now, so I'm going to go to bed. Let me know what you thought of Kent, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.